Rainy days and cloudy days are my favorite days because it puts me into a depressed state. And that depressed state reminds me of all the times that I was down and out. It reminds me of all the times that I was depressed and I didn't want to live no more, or I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what move to make. I didn't know what was next. I didn't know if I would ever make it to the next day or to the next week or to the next month. And you guys watch my videos and I know I talk a lot of shit, and it may come across as like I've always been here. It may come across like I've always had things together, always had my life together, or I always been the way that I am today. But the truth is, guys, once upon a time, I was depressed. Once upon a time, I believe it gotten so bad to where I didn't even want to have my own personal gun near me, because I didn't know which way my mind was going to take me. I didn't feel like I was leaning towards that, but I didn't even want it around me just in case. And here's a video from 2019. So around 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Here's a video from 2019 of just that. Check it out.
It's Thursday, May 23rd, 1:23 in the morning. And I think I've, reached a real low point in my life. I don't have a job, I'm not providing, no college degree, no backup, nothing. And I'm feeling lost. So to my future self, I appreciate you for, continuing to move forward and pushing through, because that's all it took for you to just push through and keep on fighting.
So as you guys can see just from that video, you can hear it in my tone of voice. You can see it in my body language. You can just tell I was down bad. I was down and out. And this was around the time that my daughter was born, right? I had my daughter around 20 years old, 21 years old. And I didn't have life together. I didn't have nothing put together. My mental was not all the way up to par. My emotional state wasn't all the way up to par. And I just didn't know what move I was going to make next. But here's the thing though, here's the funny thing. The crazy part about it is I always felt like I was chosen to be something. And that's why if you heard me towards the end of the video, I said thank you to myself for keeping it pushing. Thank you to myself for keeping for moving it on along, because even though I was in that bad space, even though I was in that depressed state, even though the skies was black and it was always raining in my world, I just felt deep down that something is going to change. Something has to give. Things can't be this bad all the time, right? So here's a message for you guys, who are going through things in life. You're depressed right now. You don't know what your next move is going to be. Maybe you just lost your job, right? Maybe you just lost that girl, right? Or for the woman who may be watching this, maybe you just lost that man that you thought was everything. Listen, I know it may not seem like it right now, but the skies do open up. The sun does come out and shine. You have to take it one day at a time. And I know it's easier said than done. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But there's nothing else for you to do but to keep it moving and to take it one day at a time. See, during that time period as well, right? My anxiety had gotten so bad. My anxiety had gotten so bad to where I was having borderline panic attacks every single day. Panic attacks every single day. I tried drinking it away. I tried smoking it away. I tried distracting it away. Nothing worked. Nothing worked. And you know, the only things that did work, the only things that worked was self-improvement. The only things that worked were prayer. The only things that worked were meditation. Right? See, there's a lot of people depressed right now and they're popping pills prescribed, from the doctor. They're drinking it away, which is a horrible idea because alcohol is a depressant in itself, right? They're popping pills, trying to drink it away, taking drugs to, get themselves away. They're doing everything but the right thing. And I'm here to tell you and give you words of advice, words of wisdom. Don't do that. Don't do that. There was a time period where I myself was drinking every day. I was drinking every day. Monday, I would have a drink. Tuesday, I would have a drink. Wednesday, I would have a drink. Thursday, I would have a drink. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday would be even more drinks, right? Would be even more drinks than during the week. So I'll double up my load in the weekend, right? And looking back on it, that was a horrible choice. It was a horrible choice. And if I've known what I know today, maybe I would have taken a different route, right? Maybe I would have taken a different route. Maybe I would have gotten myself together sooner rather than later. But here's the thing. You're meant to go through whatever you're going through. What you're going through right now is just a season. Like I said before, those days do lighten up, right? The sun does peek his head out to shine. Cloudy days don't stay cloudy forever. There's times that I was severely depressed. There are going to be times where you're severely depressed. There's going to be times where everything don't work out. There's going to be times where you thought that this was going to work out and it actually doesn't, right? There's going to be times where you thought that something was a great idea and it ended up being a failure. There's going to be plenty of those times, right? But the main message for this video is the only way to overcome depression, the only way to overcome those dark thoughts, the only way to overcome all the pressures of life that you're going through right now is to strictly go through it. That's the only way. There's the only way. There is no magic pill, right? There is no magic potion. There is no magic drink. You're not going to be able to drink it away. You're not going to be able to smoke it away. Those things don't work. I've been there, done that. They may temporarily solve the issue. It may feel good at the moment, right? It may look good at the moment, but in actuality, it doesn't change a damn thing. Because guess what? You're going to wake up that next morning in the same state. You're going to wake up that next day in the same state. You're going to wake up that next week and still be in the same exact position. So that in itself is going to recreate that depressive state that you're in currently, right? So the only way to overcome that depression that you're going through is to get out here, go through the fire, and become productive. So you're trying to distract yourself with the alcohol. You're trying to distract yourself with the drugs. You're trying to distract yourself with all of these things, all of these vices. All of these vices were meant for you to take part in, right? These are vices of the devil, because they don't move you forward. They keep you where you are and hold you back. And that's what I learned, because I went through those vices myself. I was a big stoner. I was a big drinker, like I just said. And here's the thing. So I was forced to ultimately quit smoking, right? I was forced to quit smoking. But before that, I was a big stoner. Oh, I was smoking. Listen, I always had a sack on me. I was always ready to roll up and smoke. But, you know, when I enrolled in the military, right, I was kind of forced, you know, to quit smoking. I wanted something better for my life, right? Like I said, you have to push yourself. You have to go through the fire, right? So me enrolling in the military, that was one of those time periods where I just forced myself to do something, right? So the military forced me to stop smoking, right? And let me tell you something. There is a such thing as emotional withdrawals as well. There's a such thing as mental withdrawals as well. Those months that I stopped smoking, all of those weeks that I stopped smoking, I didn't know how much emotional and mental baggage I was holding on to. I was not aware of all the problems, all the turmoil that I was trying to smoke away. See, like I said, those problems never disappear. Those issues never disappear. They never disappear. You just push them to the back of your mind. You just push it to the back of your heart. They never disappear. So when I stopped smoking, everything came to the forefront. All of those dark thoughts that I was trying to push back came to the front of my mind, right? All of those dark emotions, all of that trauma, all of whatever I was going through, all those past experiences with different females and bad relationships and bad friendships and failed missions and failed business, all of that stuff came to the forefront. And I couldn't run away from it. Right? And especially while I was in the military, there was no running away. So I had to sit there and deal with those issues. I didn't have no phone to distract myself. There was no video game to distract myself, right? There was none of that. None of it. I had to wake up every single morning in my barrack feeling how I felt. I couldn't go run away. Guess what? 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, it was time to go on a 2-mile run. Guess what? It was time to hit class. Guess what? It was time to hit those push-ups. Guess what? It was time to hit those sit-ups. I didn't have time, right? When you're being productive, when you're moving forward, when you're running in the fight, when you're running towards the problem and not away from the problem, listen, it's gonna burn. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna take a toll on you, right? But it's up to you to keep it moving. See, there's an issue we have, especially in America right now. Don't nobody want to put the work in, right? Don't nobody want to put the work in. And we have a big, what's the word I'm looking for? We have a big mental health crisis in America, right? We have a big mental health crisis in America, and not for what has been broadcasted in the, larger media. We have a mental health crisis mainly because people want to distract themselves from their problems. People don't want to face their problems head on, right? That's why the doctor just give you a pill, right? When all you needed to do was to hit the gym, right? All you needed to do was to eat right. All you needed to do was to stop drinking. All you needed to do was to stop smoking. All you had to do was to apply yourself. See, that's the magic pill that y'all looking for. The magic pill is to put in the work. That's the magic pill, right? But some of y'all, many of us are not taught that, right? We live in an instant gratification world where we think there has to be a magic pill and a magic potion, some magic process that's going to get us right over that hump, when it's not. It's not. You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to do what it takes. Nobody can beat that depression but you. Nobody can get yourself out of that. Nobody can get you out of that situation but you. So that video that I just showed you guys, nobody helped me out of that situation. Nobody gave me nothing. Nobody was calling me and asking me, was I okay? Nobody was calling me and checking on me. Nobody was doing any of that, right? As a matter of fact, people were waiting on me to fail. People were waiting on me to fail. And I'm gonna tell you this quick. I'm gonna tell you this quick story, and then I'm gonna end the video. So like I said, this was around the time that I was having my daughter, or she was already born, right? And, I had my girlfriend at the time, right? And at the time, she was making more money than me. She was making more money than me. And the job that I had at the time just wasn't paying any money at all. And we only had one car. We only had one car, and we were barely making it. We were barely making it, and the baby didn't make it no better. So to make a long story short, she ended up wrecking the car. Totaling the car, right? And what's so funny is her folks, her relatives, thought that I ruined the car. Her relatives thought that I'm the one that totaled the car. They thought that she was somehow covering for me, when that wasn't the case, right? So around this time also, I believe her grandfather had passed, right? And there were a few cars that could be used to fill in until we got another car, right? They refused to let her use any one of those cars. And it was all because they felt some kind of way about me, right? And for no particular reason, I always carried myself respectfully. I always gave them respect. I always, talked to them with respect. There was no reason for them to not like me at all, right? But lo and behold, that's what it was. I can't explain it. I tried to explain it in another video, but some things are just unexplainable. Some people are just not going to like you just because. Some people are not going to like you because they see where you're headed. And guess what? I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm surely is en route, right? So they refused to give her the car. And mind you, this was one of the lowest points in my life, right? And I remember she was on the phone with her dad, and she was just asking, like, Dad, I need the car, right? We have no other means of transportation. I need to get to work. Gerard needs to do this, right? He straight up told her, no, you have a man over there. Tell him to go buy a car, right? Tell him to go buy a car. You're not using no car over here. I think I can really say that was one of the times that I snapped. That was truly one of the times that I snapped. Because they had no reason to deny us access. They just wanted a reason to deny us access. And it wasn't because of her. It was more so because of me. So because of their disdain for me, because they didn't like me, because they didn't want to see me with their daughter, they chose to take out that frustration and to take out that anger on both of us, including the daughter, right? And I snatched the phone from her. I remember I snatched the phone from her, and this was her dad, and I straight up cursed him out. I straight up cursed him out, and he threatened me. He's like, yeah, you talking all that, I'll come down and kill you. I snapped again. And to end the story off, I'll tell you guys like this. I was so far down the rabbit hole, so far deep down in the ditch. I truly believe if he had come down there, I would have killed him. I would have killed him. And I say that nonchalantly because I mean that. And that's because of the dark, depressive state that I was in. And that wasn't the only situation. Her family had always treated me with this thing. They always talked behind my back. They always felt some kind of way, right? They always have been. I've always dealt with disrespect, from her father. I always dealt with it, right? And everything had came to a bubble. I wasn't making no money. I wasn't being productive. I didn't have no way out. The car is now totaled. Now we have to find another. The baby is here. The baby is born, right? It was so many things on top of one another. I just snapped. And I don't mean one of these fake snaps, right? I had blacked out. I blacked out and I wanted blood on my hands. I blacked out and had an anxiety attack because the anger, the frustration, everything had boiled to a head. And some of you may can relate, right? Some of you may can relate. Some of you have a story to where it's just that one thing that broke the camel's back. And I've told you in my previous video, I told you guys another time where the straw broke the camel's back, right? And that was one of the beginning stories, right? And me going through that taught me some lessons about myself and about life that I'm communicating right now to you guys. Nobody's coming to save you. Family members can be right there, next door to you. They can be your next door neighbor, right? And they could give a flying fuck about helping you. Blood relatives, friends can know that you're in distress and not do a damn thing about it, right? Close ones can be right there, knowing what you're going through and won't do a damn thing about it. So if you're thinking that somebody is going to help you overcome what you're going through, if you think that somebody is going to, call and check on you and truly, genuinely mean, what they say, listen, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And not because everybody is just out to get you or something like that. It's not always because of that. It's also because people have their own issues that they're going through as well. People have their own things that they're going through as well. So not everybody can just be there for you. Only you can be there for you. Right? So for all of you guys and gals who come across this video, that is how I overcame my depression. That's how I overcame the things that I was going through. And even now, till this day, I still hit hiccups. I still hit bumps on the road. I'm still going through certain things. There's certain things that come with this YouTube game, right? There's people who try to leak my address. There's people who know exactly where I stay at. I wish they would try, but you get what I'm saying? There's certain things that even come with this online game. There's certain things that come with every part of life. There's not going to be a time and place in history along your journey that you're going to be without struggle, right? When you're down and out and poor and broke, that's a different struggle. When you're having money and rich and you've climbed yourself up the totem pole. That's a different struggle, right? So listen, guys, hit that gym. Get in that gym. I'm always going to stress that gym because health is wealth, right? Health is wealth. When your body is feeling good, when you're putting the right things into your body, right? When you're exercising your body, training your body like you're training for war, that also reflects in your mental health as well. Your mental becomes better. Your emotional becomes better. Your spiritual becomes better. Hit that gym. Eat right, right? Become productive. Work, work, work. Because when you work, you produce. And when you produce, you can create the life that you want and create freedom. All right? And that's an after pill. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.